The January 6th committee says it'll spend the next month interviewing new witnesses with a promise to reappear in September. The first round of public hearings wrapped up with stunning testimony about a president holed up in the White House dining room, TV room for more than 3 hours, unwilling to tell the insurrectionists to go home because they were, quote, his people. According to witnesses, Trump never made a single call to law enforcement or the Pentagon or even to check on his own vice president. His alleged last words leaving the West Wing that night after the deadly attack, quote, Mike Pence let me down. The committee also showed outtakes from the speech Trump delivered the day after January 6th, refusing to acknowledge his defeat.
But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
CNN is told it took about an hour to record that 3-minute video. And joining me now is former Democratic Senator from Minnesota and host of the Al Franken podcast, Al Franken. Senator, I guess you have a lot of thoughts on all of these subjects we just tackled over the last 10 minutes.
No.
But I guess, what did you think when you saw these outtakes from January 7th? I just thought that was fascinating, a sort of window into a troubled president's mind.
I think he was depressed and troubled that day, and rightfully so. He's just a terrible person. I think that's we learn that through these hearings. It's interesting. I think these hearings they've just exceeded all my expectations. But nothing has shocked me. Nothing about this has shocked me. The footage right outside the Senate chamber. I know that geography, and it's chilling. And the testimony that you showed there that people were calling home to maybe have to say goodbye. All of that is chilling. This guy needs to be prosecuted. There's no doubt about that. I felt from the very beginning, from his call to Raffensperger, that's on tape, him saying 11,780 votes, you got to find that, and if you don't, you're in trouble. That to me, but everything we've seen just solidifies this, and especially this last. So Garland has to go after him.
Well, I was going to say, what does it say about our system of justice in this country if Merrick Garland does not move forward with some kind of criminal investigation, or I suppose there might be one underway, but without a prosecution?
I think it would be this is maybe the worst crime that a president can commit, which is it was a conspiracy to overturn an election. That's what our democracy is supposed to be about. That's what the Constitution, but that's what our country is about. This is the worst thing you can do. And I'm pretty confident now that Merrick Garland will prosecute him. The only thing worse than prosecuting him is not prosecuting him.
And, Al, the committee noted the infamous moment when Republican Senator Josh Hawley serves in the body you once served in, raised his fist in solidarity with the protesters. They followed that by playing video of Hawley running through the building as the insurrectionists advanced. And that moment literally brought laughter to the room. In terms of how Hawley reacted, he tweeted out a link to a coffee mug that you can buy with his fist pump picture. There it is right there. It says, "Show me strong." I guess they don't have a mug available where he's running through the halls of Congress. What's been your reaction to all this, Al?
I'd like to copyright the mug of him running through Congress. First of all, how dare he do that? The testimony was that a Capitol officer, a woman, said that riled the crowd. It's unconscionable that he linked to that. And, the video, you're right. They didn't carry the laugh on the feed, which is too bad, but it got a laugh in the room, is what I heard. And it's this gives a new meaning to hauling ass, I guess.
I think so. And you know what it's like to get a good laugh in the room, and that certainly got one.
It did. I would suggest showing that as often as you can on CNN. It's a great moment.
We'll see if we can find the tape.
Yeah.
And Senator, we have no indication that President Biden is not running for re-election. I want to ask you about the 2024 campaign. I know it's a ways off, but California Governor Gavin Newsom seems to be positioning himself for a run, potentially. First, he bought airtime in Florida to go after Ron DeSantis. Now he's taken out full-page ads going after Greg Abbott in Texas on guns and abortion. I guess, what would you like to see? Would you like to see President Biden running for re-election? If I could put you on the spot, do you think it would be good to have some other candidates in there showing interest at this point, as Gavin Newsom appears to be doing? What are your thoughts? Do you see any of this? Do you disagree with the notion that Newsom is positioning himself? What do you think?
The president says he's running for re-election. I think it's not. I think indulging in these parlor games is counterproductive. We have midterms coming up that are unbelievably important. We have to hold the Senate and hopefully add at least 2 seats to it. I believe we can do that. We have to hold the House. And that's the only way we're going to do things like codifying Roe, doing stuff on climate that we absolutely need to do. Look how just scorching hot it is around the world. We have to get stuff done. We need to elect Democrats to the Senate, to the House, governors. The governor's race in Pennsylvania is so crucial. Secretaries of state, they're going after our democracy. This is an extremely important period of time between now and the midterms. I don't think we should be engaging in this kind of parlor games, because it's maybe fun to do, but it's not fun. It doesn't get anything done.
And do you think it's a good idea for the Democratic Party to be going out there, or Democratic aligned groups to be going out there and pumping up the more far right candidates in some of these Republican primary races that we've seen across the country? We've seen some Democrats say that's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea. I don't like that. First of all, it's just feeding more right-wing propaganda out there. I don't think we should be doing that. I understand the tactic. You think you get a right-wing nut that you can beat. I understand that. That's politics, I guess, but I'm not in favor of that.
And the last time you were on, you said that your family would heavily factor into your decision on whether you would run again. And I know that it's something that you're looking at, something you've thought about. I'm sure you've noticed this. This week, New York Times columnist Michelle Goldberg wrote a piece entitled, "I Was Wrong About Al Franken." I guess there are a lot of folks who might say they were wrong about Al Franken. But in this column, she expressed remorse for calling on you to resign at that time without a Senate investigation into the allegations you were facing at that time. Back then, she thought Democrats shouldn't go through the ordeal of having to defend you. Now she says you deserve due process. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, I appreciate her doing that. It's hard to admit you're wrong. You've been wrong. And so I appreciate that. And she came down, as you said, that I should have had due process. And that's all I was asking for at the time. And I was denied it. I appreciate her doing that.
And there are a lot of progressives who would like to see you run again. Any indication that you can give us as to which way you're leaning at this point?
Well, I certainly am not contemplating that at all. And I'm really focused on these midterms. And I have a PAC, Midwest Values PAC. If any of your listeners would like to look it up and give to it, I'd give to, just giving to Shapiro in Pennsylvania, so we can win that one. We need to, and all over the place. So I'm really focused on that.